Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. In today's video, with the help of my buddy John, we're going to be building a custom exhaust for the V8 swapped S10. So here's what we're working with. I ordered a pre-done mandrel bent exhaust kit for a V8 swapped S10, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have to modify where it goes up to the headers, as well as some other things. Got all of the hardware here. The muffler is actually a Dynamax muffler that I ordered from O'Reilly Auto Parts. It actually has an X pipe built into it, so that should make it sound really good. Got polished 3-inch tips for the back. The rest of the exhaust is 2.5-inch. This is where it goes over the rear axle. The muffler is going to sit here, and you have all of these intermediate pipes that are going to go in the center section. But it's going to take a little bit of work, but having the mandrel bent exhaust is definitely going to save a lot of work from having to completely fabricate the whole thing, so it's going to be an interesting process. Let's go ahead and get the truck on the lift. With the Sanderson headers I ordered, it actually came with a couple of header reducers, 2.5-inch reducers. They're also angled to try to position the exhaust in a better spot. So we're just trying to figure out the best placement for those right now.
I'm gonna leave that guy right there. Where's that's that side, right? No. Yeah, it looks like it has it. If we cut the ear off, Kyle, I think it would point that inward.
Just cut the ear off on both sides and get maximum clearance, huh?
Yeah. And we're gonna. That's definitely not gonna work.
No. So maybe that was on the right side.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll get these ears cut off, and then when we cut it off, we'll be very gracious and not take too much material out, and then we'll come back afterwards and we'll drill through the skid plate or the cover plate here, go up through the bell housing where the leftover material is still at, rethread and tap that, so since we're losing this bolt,
yeah,
you'll still have one after we get rid of this guy. So
yeah,
it's not flapping in the wind going down the road.
That worked out pretty good. Got to touch up the frame a little bit, but that's the piece that I cut off, so we have a lot more room to get that pipe through there now.
Now that's much better.
Yeah?
Way better.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think you're going to be just fine. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dry fit the back half of the truck with the exhaust. We're not going to weld it together. We're just going to kind of dry fit it, get it up to where we know it's going to go, and then what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the passenger side header, and I guess you could call this the downpipe. I want to be able to get that started here, but I want to know exactly where the back half is going to end up at, and then we'll come back over and tackle this side, and then once we get these two solid and welded up, then we can work our way back and start welding things up, and then getting our hangers made, get our X-pipe muffler all welded up solid, and then we won't weld the back half of the exhaust on just because there's so many bends and shapes there. We don't want to weld everything solid and then not be able to take things back apart very easily.
Makes sense.
Yeah. How are we looking with clearance around that tire?
The most important thing we have to figure out back here is how low or where to actually position the pipes so they properly clear the bumper. I don't have the original bumper from this truck anymore because I'm going to be doing a Blazer bumper conversion. I'm actually planning on filming a video on that, so stay tuned. But This is by no means up there, it's just hanging temporarily just so we can get an approximate idea, because it is angled down this way a little too much, so we can only go up from here. So we should be able to get a really good idea on where to place this exhaust.
So I'm going to center the chassis so I know exactly how wide it is. So it looks like we're 40 inches wide from inner to inner, so 20 inches on center. And then we can go off of that to reference these two exhausts so they're perfectly even and parallel out the back end of this truck. We don't want one side super far over this way and one side super far over that way. We don't want one too far in. It's kind of crazy looking at it because the spare tire looks like it's in the center of the truck, but it's really not. It's offset, because you can just tell by looking at the bottom of the frame rail how much clearance we have over here versus over here. So we got 20 inches on center. We will put a tape mark somewhere on here to reference that, and then we'll use that 20-inch center mark to center our mufflers or our tips on each side. And it is really freaking hot in North Carolina today. Oh my gosh, what time is it? It must be like 9:30, and it feels like it's 1,000 degrees humidity right now. It is 10 o'clock.
So these go off of the down pipes, and then these go in front of those and connect to the muffler.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get these in place. Then we'll kind of get a good idea of where everything's going to kind of land at now. And then once we kind of get that in place, then we can tackle the actual manifolds up here and get those welded. And then we'll work our way back, get everything welded up, and get this thing started up.
Cool.
It's nice having these pre-bent offsets on here.
Yeah, I know.
Makes life a lot easier. And they've already been expanded. So it's just as simple as sliding that in there, sliding that one in there, and then we get our other pieces in place, and look at that. I mean, this thing's gonna be pretty rad. That ear that you cut off earlier is gonna give us the exact clearance that we're gonna need. So that's absolutely perfect.
Sweet.
So what we'll do now is we'll hack off the bell on the end of this, since your headers aren't using that donut style gasket.
Right.
We'll lock right off the very edge, because we don't want to cut too much off, because once you cut too much off, you can't get that back.
No.
So we'll cut as close as we can to that, get our flanges bolted up, see how they look. We probably will have to modify those as well. And yeah, we'll get these things tacked up, and then we're going to start rocking and rolling here in a minute. I'll get the welder that Robert's dropped off for you kind of set up, ready for this type of welding. We'll set up the parameters on it. We have a full bottle, right?
Yeah.
Sweet. Thanks, guys. Someone turn on the air conditioning, please.
I haven't installed that feature yet.
Come on, Kyle. I need AC. So what we're going to end up needing to do is, we're most likely, from looking at this, I'm going to try the other side first, but you know, everybody's setup is different, and the flanges that came with these headers, you know, they're angled. It looks probably like a 45. We really need to be going like here. We need to be going straight into this. So
just gonna cut it?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not gonna cut until I 100% am confident in that. So we're gonna need to grab some more bolts. We'll stick this guy in, and then we'll see where this guy lands. Now we can try and position this flange the direction we want that thing to go. See how it looks. This is our initial test fit. If this works out, we're gonna fire the welder up, and we're gonna get this all tacked here on the driver's side header. And then we're gonna go ahead and tackle that other side, and if it looks good, we are gonna move to the back half of this truck and get those tips centered, and then get hangers made. Oh, this is a lot heavier than what I anticipated. There we go.
Wow, that lines up perfect.
Not bad. So 45 is too much. So it looks like if we split that and go 22, I really think we will be right on the money. And what we can do is when we split that, I don't need a lot. I really don't even need all this. I literally just almost like a pie cut. If we split this in half, I might be able to just position it right on that and move it around to where we'll get the exact angle that we want, and we won't have to add really much anything besides just that little guy there. Since this is a straight pipe, we can actually just take this, we can position it on here anywhere we want, because it doesn't matter. And then we'll use that as where we'll match this up to our line that we just made. And then I can make a mark from this flange, or from this pie, or this transition here to that. Then I know where it goes onto this. And then we just gotta figure out where to put it at on that now. So, I think I figured out where we're gonna transition this over to. So I have a little bitty Sharpie mark right there. And that actually is been placed here as well. So when I had it up there, I just went sharp. And it looks like it's gonna line right up with my line now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave it attached to this pipe. So I can actually stick it up in here and then zap it with the MIG and use this. This is like my holder essentially, because it's grounded out now. So I can tack it, and then we'll take our pipe, put it up there after I peel this tape off. If it all jives good, we're gonna tack it in place, get our section there put back on, and then hopefully weld this thing up.
It's just about spot on.
Yeah, it's close. It's darn close, that's for sure. So I just need to rotate this flange just a little bit more, and then we can get our measurement for that and place this all together, and then we'll weld there and weld down there, and we can take this thing back out.
Will help. I still have the original exhaust hangers, but instead of trying to repurpose these, we're gonna make our own hanger setup. Now this exhaust kit did come with some hangers, but I picked up some extra universal hangers from O'Reilly, and we're going to adapt them to the custom setup so we can put the support exactly where we want it.
So this, how it's gonna work is, it's great that he picked these up from O'Reilly. They actually work perfectly. So this normally would have this guy here. So this wouldn't be served as like a clamping device for securing two pipes together, like as something that has like a step on it and you're slipping into another pipe. This is strictly for hanging purposes only. But what we just discovered was the same exact spread, because it's 2.5 inches of exhaust, since we have this clamp here already going in this position, and it's going to choke this pipe here now. We're actually going to use both of these hangers. As you can see, it slips right on to our clamp. And we have two factory mounting positions here on the frame. So that's facing this way, so I want to face this one this way as well. What's up? Oh, she brought coffee! Woo! Oh my God.
So there's actually two holes in the frame rail that we were able to utilize to mount up this bracket. And it's got us exactly where we need to be.
And now what I'm gonna do is, the kit also came with some round stock bar here. It's just regular cold rolled steel. It's just a rod, and I've already got it marked of where we're going to end up taking this and bending a 90. We're going to attempt to bend a 90 in this. Maybe. We might just cut it and then re-weld it, but our goal is to put it here facing this direction, and then we'll make the cut and have it go back this way, and we'll probably do like something here to kind of stabilize it. But the exhaust, as it rests, it's not pulling in any direction. I don't need it to pull in any direction. I just need there to be this hanger here to hold this guy right, from drooping down. Because as soon as I drop this down, our exhaust is going down with it, which is nice. we know now, okay, I want to bring it up to here. We know that your bumper's still going to slide up a little bit. And then once we actually put the weight on it, these mounts are relatively dense. So we know we're not going to drop a significant amount at all, if any. So I say we get this part cut and then angled, and then we'll weld this one up, and we will tackle that side, and we are going to pull that front half off and weld that thing up solid, put gaskets on it, and we are going to start this thing up.
So John cut a relief with the Sawzall right there to where he was able to bend this back at a 90, and I guess you're just going to weld that.
Yeah, I'm just going to fill this back in because we're going to get a weld behind here and here, and I'm going to weld across the front or the face of this to the exhaust tube.
Yeah.
And then, just to make sure we got plenty of strength, this leftover piece is going to be a bridge in between here because we've now weakened this. We don't have anything here that's going to bend that tight of a radius.
Yeah.
So we're going to use this as almost a bridge to hold it together.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah, kind of simple. If you don't have a bender at home, you can always relief cut something like this. And then you just want to make sure that you have some sort of provision there because this is going to be your high load. You don't want this thing to fall forward if you only weld it here and here. It's just never going to be strong enough. You're going to need something to grab and pull that back to here.
That makes sense.
So yeah, man. We ended up, we welded the hanger to the hanger that's up here. It's got the really dense rubber mount on it, and it actually just bolts right to the top of the chassis, so it's still very accessible to move and take off. So it made the most sense because what was happening is this rod was sliding down because it's a 1/4 inch rod, and we have almost a 3/4 inch hanger there. So this actually turned out really, really good, really, really nice.
The exhaust is all welded up. Now we just gotta fit some gaskets and put it all back together.
If you all would have been here, or if we would have filmed about 20 minutes ago, it would have consisted of beep, 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 a lot of beeps.
Oh my gosh.
What we discovered literally about 1 minute ago is that we really had no way of getting these two inner bolts locked down with lock washers until we walked away and then thought about taking the lock washer and putting it on the bolt side and not on the nut side. And now Kyle is from the top of the truck pushing this nut down through the header. And
there you go.
That's the last one.
Man, oh man, this looks really, really good. Now we just gotta put the tips on and we can fire it up and see how she sounds.
Oh, someone's using power tools.
So, you guys have somewhat of an idea of what the exhaust is going to look like with the bumper. Again, it actually needs to sit more this way. It's angled down too much. But I'm going to go ahead and take this off so we can get it on the ground and get the truck moving. You guys ready?
Yep.
That sounds good. Well, that was an incredible success. I finally got to drive the truck for the first time. I wanted to get some inside clips, but there'll be plenty of time for that. I was honestly so stressed and my nerves were just shot from trying to get that exhaust bolted on. Oh my gosh. But I was just trying to listen to the truck and make sure I didn't hear any weird noises and stuff, because I started the break-in process on the rear end, so there was a lot of stuff going on, and I just didn't want to try to focus on filming and stuff. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed already, consider doing so, because of course there's always a lot more content where that came from. A big thanks once again to O'Reilly Auto Parts and Roberts Oxygen for their support. This has been just awesome. I love this truck. It's gonna be so much fun. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.